Rita Rondanuwu is a farmer here in Lemusa village in Sulawesi, Indonesia. With the earnings from her 1-hectare plot of land, she has provided for her children and her sick husband. But 4 months ago, tragedy struck.
The earth was shaking, so I said to my mother, "Mom, maybe it's thunder." And my mother said, "It's not thunder. Why does it smell like mud? And it's so close, very close." In fact, the flood was already behind the village.
The flood swelled the rivers and burst a nearby dam. Hundreds of uprooted trees were swept down the mountain, and the village was covered by 6 meters of mud. 2 people died that night. It's a story that's become far too common in Indonesia. Almost every month there are floods, and with changing weather patterns, they occur even in the dry season. Deforestation on mountain slopes causes a loosening of the soil, so heavy rains often result in landslides, leading to this kind of destruction. It was 2 weeks before the mud hardened and Rita could check on her farm. This is what she found.
Here, we used to plant cocoa, from here until there. There was also coconut. At that time, the river flow was on the other side, and around here were coconuts and cocoa. But after the flood, there's nothing. Not a single thing left. Of course, I feel very sad, because this was the hope for my children for schooling. All gone.
Rita's farm may be gone, but there is still hope. A few years ago, she started weaving baskets to supplement her income, but it wasn't earning her much money. Then she heard that with support from the Indonesian government and the UN agency IFAD, she could access funds to develop her business if she was part of a group. So she joined with other weavers, and with those funds they could buy enough palm fronds to quickly fill big orders. They now supply a number of restaurants around the country and share the profits. All of the women here lost their farms in the flood. Without the weaving, none of their families would have any source of income.
Fortunately, we have this business making these baskets to earn money for the family for food. We don't think of anything else, just food.
And this basket business is not just helping the weavers. Their neighbour, Sinche Deto, was getting ready to harvest her rice crop when the flood hit. She not only lost her 1-hectare paddy, but this is all that remains of her home. She and her husband and her 3 children were left with only the clothes on their backs.
I feel so hopeless. It's hard to get food and clothes.
But because Rita's weaving business survived the flood, Sinche can earn some money. She spends her days stripping palm leaves, and she sells these to the weavers. Meanwhile, with additional support from IFAD, the weavers are learning marketing and bookkeeping so that their business can grow. According to the organization's Ron Hartman, it's essential to encourage farmers to have diverse sources of income, especially with climate and environmental changes making agriculture far more risky.
Well, Lemusa village, I think, is a good example of many villages across Indonesia in terms of its vulnerability. And opportunities to diversify from agriculture has provided people in this village, such as the basket weavers, an opportunity that if a disaster does hit, that they're able to still generate some income for livelihood.
And with this income, Rita and the other weavers can now start to rebuild their lives.
Another spring is coming to Tunisia, but dark clouds still appear on the horizon. The Arab revolt started here in Sidi Bouzid, but 2 years later, there's still political instability and economic progress has yet to take root. Unemployment and poverty is 18% nationwide, and once you leave the coast, with its beaches and tourism income, as many as 78% of the people don't know where their next meal will be coming from. Many families survive on casual labor. These women are paid 7 dinars, about $4, for a day's work. Nowhere near enough to save and buy their own land, start a business, and become self-sufficient. Climate change is another challenge. It hasn't rained a drop here for 6 months. Lakes and rivers have dried up, crippling agriculture. In response, the World Food Program and the Food and Agriculture Organization of the UN developed an innovative project. FAO organizes unemployed young men and women into farmers' associations, giving them bargaining power, controlled prices, and confidence. They are taught sheep and goat rearing skills and helped to develop a business plan. To help sustain them while they're being trained, WFP pays them cash to plant trees and cactus. The plants help the environment by keeping eroding soil in place and will be used for fodder to feed their animals. The goal? To use their newly acquired empowerment and skills to earn microcredits, loans that will be used to buy around 10 animals of their own, enough to grow into a profitable flock. The project is a kind of home starter kit for an independent livelihood.
With the logistic force of WFP and the technical know-how on FAO, we have the perfect match to be able to do the learning process with the young people, but also to provide the work on big scale, like planting those trees. Then this is where 2 UN agencies, sister agencies, can work to rapidly provide help to rehabilitate a country, and a country like Tunisia.
Siham is 22. She lives at home with her parents, 3 sisters, and 2 brothers. Before she participated in the project, she was unemployed and spent all her time at home. Now she wakes up, cleans the stables, and goes to work planting cactus.
The project has changed our lives a lot. Before, we didn't eat meat. We bought clothes only once a year, and now we can buy clothes and eat better. The project has improved a lot of things for us.
Long journeys begin with small steps. The sheep Siham will buy with her microcredit can make her self-sufficient and set her on the path to a brighter future.
Insects can transmit a range of diseases, affecting both humans and animals. Population growth, climate shifts, and the loss of wildlife habitats mean that microbes are on the increase. Tsetse flies and other blood-sucking insects can spread a disease called trypanosomosis in animals, reducing milk yields and killing more than 3 million cattle a year. The disease is known as sleeping sickness in humans and can be fatal. Here in Kenya, the Food and Agriculture Organization, FAO, has set up a pilot project to eliminate the insects that transmit diseases. And the solution is very simple: a special mosquito net for livestock. Limited grazing land means that cows are often fed in sheltered units. Dairy farmers using the netting are already seeing good results.
I used to suffer a lot because flies were bothering my cows. When I tried to milk them, they would kick and retain their milk. When they put the net, the cow started milking better. When milking, the cow stands still. I used to be bitten on my legs by small insects, especially in the evening on rainy days. But now I can comfortably milk the cows and the flies don't bother me. So I'm very happy.
When animals from different areas come together at watering holes like this one in the Rift Valley, diseases can easily spread. And for communities who rely primarily on livestock for their livelihoods, the economic consequences can be devastating.
Rift Valley fever affects both animals and people. And when I say animals, I mean both livestock and wildlife. And when you talk about livestock, it's basically affecting the entire livestock value chain, all the way from the people who are giving services and inputs to the livestock productions systems, to those who are doing processing and marketing, and even to the consumers. They still get affected when we have these outbreaks.
FAO is promoting a holistic approach to human, animal and environmental health. This concept is known as One Health. By providing better nutrition and higher incomes for their owners, healthier animals mean healthier people.